Hello students, welcome to my critical reasoning class. Today we'll be solving few more questions on the second type of critical reasoning questions, that is conclusion. To make the best use of the session, I suggest to do two things. Number one, go through my theory sessions on critical reasoning. The link to the session is given on the description below. Number two, create a free sign-up account on our website and try the exercises before you go through the video. The process to sign up for the free account is given in the link below. Now that you would have done both the things, let's start the session. Welcome students. So this is practice on CR type 2 questions conclusion. As a type, this is the simplest form of CR questions, but the questions that I'll practice here would be tough questions, right? So be prepared that these are tough questions. The rationale behind this is if you are able to solve these kind of questions, the other questions you will find extremely easy, right? So please go through my theory on conclusion. And now let's start the conclusion questions here. Okay. Again, my famous line, pause, solve, and then play. This is the first question. Okay. So if I start solving this question, this is what is happening, guys. The patents granted to inventions has gone down, right? From this, can we conclude that inventions have gone down? No, we can't. Because it could have happened that inventions have actually gone up. The regulation has become so strict that patents are not granted. So if patents to invention is going down, we can't comment or we can't conclude about inventions. Okay. Second thing what has happened is during this stage, the percentage of expenditure of GNP has gone down. So can we conclude that the amount spent has gone down? No, we can't conclude. Why? Because we don't know the GNP. So let me give you an example. Let's say if there are two people, A and B, and I say that A spends 10% or A saves 10% of his pocket money and B saves 50% of his pocket money. And if my question is, who saves more money? Can you give me an answer to this? You cannot, right? Why? Because pocket money nahi pata na. What if this guy's pocket money is 1,000 rupees? So this guy would be saving 500 rupees and this guy's pocket money is 1 lakh. Rich guy, right? So 10% of 1 lakh is 1,000, right? So this guy, or 10,000, sorry, this guy would be saving more than this guy, right? So A would be saving more than B. So whenever there is percentage, guys, percentage without base means nothing. So in this case, if you automatically infer that the amount of expenditure has gone down, that's a big mistake because we don't know the GNP. What if the GNP here was only 1,000 and GNP here was 1 CR? So amount spent would actually be more, right? So there are two kind of mistakes that we can commit. A, we can infer that inventions have gone down, which we cannot. Second thing that we can infer is that the amount spent by US has gone down. Even that we can't infer. The next piece of information that we've been given is that West Germany has increased to 3.2% of GNP and Japan has increased to 1.6% of GNP. So who is spending more? Again, we cannot say because we don't know this GNP. So we cannot conclude about who's spending the max. Now let's look at the answers. Those who commit, let's say A, those who mark A, they commit both mistakes. So A, the size of nascent GNP, we don't know. And second, the number of inventions. We can't conclude anything about the size of GNP or the inventions. So जिसने भी A mark करा है, उसने दोनों ही गलती करी है. Now look at second one. Japan and West Germany spent more money. Again, we can't comment about more money. Look at C. The amount of money, again out. I can't conclude anything about the amount of money. Look at D. Look at E first, which is out. Both West Germany and Japan will soon surpass. We don't know what is the difference between them currently. But look at D. Between 64 and 78, United States consistently spent a larger percentage of GNP. You are comparing percentage of GNP. It came consistently down to 2.5% of GNP. Compare this with Japan, which increased its percentage of GNP spent to 1.6%. So when you're comparing percentage spent of GNP, it was 2.4% as compared to 1.6%. So yes, this is correct, right? So whenever it's a percentage question, guys, percentage without base means nothing. Okay. Let's look at number second. Okay. Pause, play, pause, solve, and then play. Okay. All right. Now, in this question, these are the parties: government of Z, fledgling industries of country Z, export dependent industries in Z, and then the export market. So these are the four parties. Now, what is the relationship? Government of Z wants to protect fledgling industries, and therefore they ban imports, right? They ban imports. So let's say if I'm buying these pens from some other countries, to protect the industries which are producing this pen, government of Z has banned the import of these pens. Okay. Now, what has happened because of this? Because of this, the cost to these industries has gone up. So what I can safely infer is, earlier these were importing these pens. Now they have to buy it from fledgling industries, and because of this, the cost has gone up. So these guys are selling them at a higher price. That is a safe inference. And the relationship between this and export market is, now because the cost has gone up, their ability to compete in the export market has gone down. So this is what is happening in this. Okay. Now the question is, which of the following can be inferred most properly about the products? So these products, which earlier you were importing and now these industries are manufacturing. So what can you infer about these products? Look at option 1. These products had been cheaper to import than they were to make within countries that fledgling industries. Yes, because that is why the cost for these people gone up, right? Because they were initially importing it, now they're getting it from here, because of which the cost has gone up. So it's a safe inference that the cost at which they are selling to them is high, right? So this is the correct answer. Look at B. Those products were ones that country Z was hoping to export in return. We can't say this. ये कौन सा error है जो मैंने पहली क्लास में बोला है? BHN. बोला ही नहीं. Look at number C. Those products used to be imported from just those countries. I don't know from which countries it was imported. So again, this is the same error, which is bola hi nahi. In such question, the most common error is bola hi nahi. Look at D. Those products had been more expensive. Again, same error, which is bola hi nahi. E. Those products used to be imported in very small quantities. Again, I don't know. Bola hi nahi. So A is a straight cut answer. Now the same input stem, but a different question. Which of the following conclusion about country Z's adversely affected export dependent industries is best supported by the passage? So in this case, you have to make inference about this party. Now the data about what I have about this party is the cost has gone up, and because of that, the ability to compete effectively has gone down. This has gone down in the export market, right? This is what we know about these two. So cost has gone up, because of which the ability to compete has gone down, right? So in this one, guys, A is the correct answer. I'll explain that. Let me first explain why the other choices are out. Those industries had to contend with the fact that other countries banned imports. We don't have any information about how the other countries reacted. So this is not the correct answer. This is the error is bola hi nahi. Those industries succeeded in expanding the domestic market. Now we don't know how did this companies react. This is a course of action. This is a course of action. ठीक है? Problem है ये करना चाहिए. But did this companies do this? We don't know. We can't say. So this is a course of action. Steps to offset rising materials. Again, this is a course of action. Course of action plus बोला ही नहीं. Course of action कभी बोला ही नहीं होता है. So even this is out. Those industries started to move into export markets that they again. This is a course of action. This is something they should do. Now this is the correct answer. Profit margin in those industries were not high enough to absorb the rise in cost mentioned above. Now you might say, sir, profits की तो बात करी नहीं है. So how can we mark this? So first of all, this is the least incorrect answer. Second, look at this. Their ability to compete has gone down. Now let's say if I'm a teacher and I teach for CLAT, and let's say I charge 50,000, and my cost is 20,000. My cost is 20,000. So what is the margin that I'm making? I'm making 30,000. So this is my profit. Now let's say my competition comes and my competition charges at 40K. They charge at 40K and they're equally good. I will lose my customers because they are getting the same quality of teaching at 10,000 less a price. So in this case, because I lose the customers, I will easily reduce my price from 50K to 40K. And in this case, 40K minus 20,000, which is the cost, I would still make a profit of 20,000. So I would be making a profit of 20,000. So because my margins were high, I was able to, let's say, react to the lower cost. Now, let's say if on the other hand, I'm charging 50K and let's say my price is 48K or let's say 45K. The cost, let's say I've rented a place, I've taken an account, an online account, and I make content, whatever it is, I have a video set up. So total cost is 45,000. So what is my margin here? I make 5,000. Now in this case, if my competition charges 40K, will I be able to charge 40K? I will not, because my cost is 45K. Maximum, let's say I can go up till 46K because I want to make some profit, 1K. So I'll charge 46K. My competition is charging 40K. So my ability to compete has gone down. Why would this happen? Because my profit margins were thin. Had my profit margins be high enough, the increased cost which happened here, I could have easily managed my price. But my competition, my ability to compete will go down because I'm not able to change my market price. And why am I not able to do that? Because margins are very thin. अगर margins ज़्यादा होते, मैं अपना price कम कर देता. All right. So the answer is A. Third, the answer is A. As I said, mentioned in the beginning of the class, the questions are slightly tougher as compared to the CLAT level. This is again a very interesting question, a good question, guys. Number 4. All right, I'll come to the solution. So basically, this is talking about the subject is the laws requiring the use of headlight during daylight hours. So this is my subject is this law. Now it says, see, this is equator, this is country 1, and country 6 is furthest away from equator. So सबसे ज़्यादा कहाँ पर effective होगा? As per the condition given to us in this paragraph, this would be most effective here, right? And least effective here and then here. Okay, तो इतना तो साफ समझ में आ गया. Look at the last sentence. How would you interpret this sentence? All of you, give it a try. In fact, the only countries that actually have such laws are further away from the equator than is the continental United States. How will you interpret? What will you interpret from this? Now, the common interpretation which people make is the laws are in country 4, country 5, and country 6. This is what the inference people make from this line. This is incorrect, guys. What you can definitely infer from this information is that country 1, country 2, and country 3, which is US in this case, do not have such laws. जहां पे laws हैं, वो इनमें से किसी country में होगा. The information says countries, so it has to be more than one country. So it has to be in 2 countries out of these 3. तो वो हो सकता है C4 C5 में हो सकता है वो C5 C6 में हो सकता है C4 C6 में हो सकता है तीनों में हो. But we can't automatically say that all these countries have these laws. The only thing which we can infer from this sentence is that these 3 countries do not have such laws. Okay? So now that we've understood the basic construct, let's look at the choices, right? Let me give you the correct answer is, first of all, E. The correct answer is E. Why is A out? Drivers in continental United States who use their headlights, okay, during the day would be just as likely to become involved in a collision as would drivers who do not use their headlights. Now, this is an error of generalization. Okay. किसके बारे में comment कर रहा हूं? Drivers who use headlights, drivers who do not use headlights. They are saying, अगर 40% chance है accident का, so it will be same. See, there could be different reason of accidents. You are ignoring the other reasons of accidents. This might be the same for accident caused due to poor daylight visibility. But accident किसी और वजह से भी तो हो सकता है ना? What if drivers who do not use headlights, they are drunk all the time? So their accidents can go up. So this question is wrong because you are generalizing. This would have been correct if you would have said that drivers in the continental United States who use headlights are equally capable of committing accident as though those who do not use headlights, for the reason being poor visibility during daylight. The accident could be caused because of some other reason also. इसलिए A out हो गया. Why is B out? If you would have done my first class, single most important factor. We don't know. हमें पता ही नहीं है कि एक्सीडेंट्स में पुअर डे लाइट विजिबिलिटी की वजह से कितने एक्सीडेंट होते हैं. So whenever I have told you this is an error of extreme, whenever this is a claim which is made, look at the fact. Can you validate this? This is one of the factor. I can't say this is the most important factor. Why is C out? The proportion of automobile collisions. Proportion कैसे निकलेगा? Daytime accident upon total accident. This is how you'll get the proportion. Have they given us information about daytime कितने accident होते हैं और total accident कितने होते हैं? They have not. So we cannot calculate this proportion. Therefore, this is out. All right. Now this one, D. Fewer automobile collisions. Again, automobile collisions can happen due to multiple reasons, not just poor daylight visibility. In countries that have daytime headlight laws then occur within the United Continental States. This would have been true agar automobile collisions because of daytime headlight laws was the most important factor. But we don't know that. Automobile collisions could be caused due to some other reason. There may be some other factor which is most important and which is more prominent in these countries. So we can't conclude. Now look at E. Why is E correct? E is paraphrasing what is given to us in the paragraph. Daytime headlight laws would probably do less to prevent automobile collisions. The laws, first of all, the subject. These laws would do less to prevent automobile collisions and it says probably, right? So if you were to implement these laws in US, it is saying it would be less effective as compared to the countries where you have such laws. The countries which you have such laws are these, which are further away from equator as compared to US. So yes, US में अगर ये 5 accident बचा रहा है, यहाँ पे ज़्यादा बचाएगा. This is what they have given to us in the information. So it is paraphrasing what is given to us in the paragraph, and therefore the answer is E. Nice question, interesting question, but a tough question. ये वाला देखो. Pause, solve, and now play. Okay. In this one, most of the students, they mark this. Most of the students, they end up marking C. This is a brilliant choice. It's a very brilliant choice. Let me share it. How? Okay, so now these are the parties, guys. Aspirin, it eliminates moderate fever. And now moderate fever had two advantages. It stimulates, this is the key word, guys, stimulates disease fighting WBC. And so this is a positive thing. And moderate fever helps to encourage them or stimulate them. The key word is stimulates. And this is a negative thing. In this case, moderate fever inhibits the growth of a negative thing. But aspirin eliminates moderate fever. So one negative thing of aspirin is, if it is eliminating moderate fever, maybe your WBCs will not get stimulated. And maybe these disease-causing bacteria, the growth will not get inhibited because moderate fever has two advantages. Now, look at choice C, what it does. It inhibits from here and WBC from here. No, if moderate fever is not there, the WBC will not get stimulated. You can't say they will get inhibited. Look at the choice, brilliant choice, right? So they picked inhibited from here and they mixed it with this. So brilliant choice, but an incorrect choice. So this is out. This is easier to eliminate. You have not spoken about focus and you have not spoken about modern medicine. So this is out. Again, more, these are the two claims, less severe. First of all, the number of white blood cells, they have not mentioned about it. They mentioned about whether they are stimulated or not. So if you have more white blood cells, but they are not stimulated, it won't impact so far as the input is given to us. So even this is out. Look at this. Why is A out? We don't know whether it's effective painkiller. And look at the second one. Alleviates the pain and discomfort of many illnesses. Bola nahi. Many illnesses, bola nahi. This is the least incorrect one, B. Aspirin can prolong a patient illness. Yes, by eliminating moderate fever, it eliminates moderate fever, and which is helpful in fighting disease. This is given to us. Yeah, so B is the correct answer. Look at number 6. Now this I have discussed in my theory class also, so I won't take much time on this particular question. So here, Polygraph test is given, but my main subject is inconclusive polygraph test, right? So let's say if you're interviewing someone, you just want polygraph test is you figure out whether the person is lying or not. So let's say if you took test for 100 people, at times I've taken an example of 20 people. 20 people in this case, you are not able to figure out, the polygraph test was not able to tell you whether the person was lying or whether he was an honest guy. So we call such test inconclusive polygraph test. So my subject is not polygraph test, but a subcategory of polygraph test, which is inconclusive polygraph test. Now, out of this 20, sometimes employers do not hire 6 people. So this is what has happened here, right? So my main subject is unconclusive polygraph test. So in my theory class, I give you an example. If I'm talking about, let's say, class 11 commerce students of student X are arrogant. So can I conclude about science students of class 11? No. Can I conclude anything about class 12 students? No. I can only conclude about the class 11 science students of student X. So here also, you can conclude about the subject, which is inconclusive polygraph test. Now let's look at the choices. Now this one, most examinees with inconclusive polygraph test are in fact untruthful. ये कौन सा error है? झूठ. ऊपर paragraph में they've told us that you cannot decide whether they were lying or they're in fact truthful. So how can you conclude this? This is completely opposite of what is mentioned in the paragraph. So this is झूठ. Now polygraph test should not be used. So A, this is a course of action. Second, if at all, you should comment about inconclusive polygraph test. सबके बारे में थोड़ा बोल सकते हैं. A test which is conclusive, that's a good one, right? If at all, you could conclude about inconclusive polygraph test, not about polygraph test. Okay? Same error is in choice D. You cannot conclude about a conclusive polygraph test. D is also saying the same thing. A polygraph test indicating that an examinee is untruthful can sometimes be mistaken, which is, it is conclusive polygraph test. I cannot comment on anything on that from the information given to us. So D is also out. Look at E. Some employers have refused to consider the results of polygraph test generalization. I don't know how they have reacted to conclusive polygraph test. ठीक है? अब C देखो the correct answer. An inconclusive polygraph test is sometimes unfairly held against the examinee. We've here 20 में से 6 लोगों को hire नहीं करा. I didn't know whether these people are liars or honest, but still I am not hiring them on the basis of an inconclusive polygraph test. So this is not fair. Again, this has some mistake, but this has least mistake. Why? Because I'm assuming that in 6 में से कोई तो truthful था. What if all of these 6 were liars? If all these 6 were liars, then this was not unfair. But this one is relatively less erroneous as compared to your other choices. All right. 7th. Pause, solve, and play. I'm coming to the solution directly. So let me explain the context first of all to you. So let's say if I am teaching a class of 100 students and I say 90% of the people know someone who has COVID, who is suffering from COVID. So let's say 100 people, and I'm saying 90% people know someone from COVID, and therefore this is alarming. Therefore, this is alarming. So this is what Roland is doing. He's saying it is alarming because see, 90% of the people know someone who is suffering from COVID. तो बहुत बड़ा number होगा ना? इसका counter क्या होगा? Can you think of a counter? I give you an example. 100 people in this batch, let's say, are studying with me, and 90%, which is 90 people, know someone who is suffering from COVID, and therefore I'm concluding, yaar, ye to COVID is like really severe now, very serious issue. What could be a counter of this? Yes, the counter could be that maybe there is only one person who is suffering from COVID and 90 people know the same people. So there's only one person in our batch who suffered from COVID and 90 people know that guy. So there's only one person who's suffering from COVID. So is that alarming? This is not. And that is what Sharon has done. Sharon has taken a moderate level of, she is qualifying it as moderate, which is acceptable. So her point is that if I take 5% unemployment rate, so let's say out of 100, only 5 people are unemployed. So 1 out of 20 workers, let's say if I take 1 out of 20 workers unemployed, so at any given point of time, if a person knows approximately 50 people, 1 on 20, so 2.5 out of 50 would be unemployed. So he would know someone who is unemployed. So therefore, it's not a big deal. That is what Sharon has done. and therefore the conclusion is this. The fact that 90% of the people know someone who is unemployed is not an indicator that unemployment is abnormally high. So this is the correct answer. Last question of the day. Now this is very simple, right? I've already discussed this in my theory class, right? So here there are two parties, guys. There is experts and then there's government. Experts are saying do X, government is saying not X. Right? So let's say they are saying do A, government is saying don't do A. Now, who is doing a better job, whose rationale is more sound, that we don't have to get into. The only point here is, if experts are saying do this, government is saying doing something else. And now we have to come up with a conclusion. The correct answer is this. The rules for government support of farm prices work against effort to reduce water pollution. Okay, wo to given hai. That is given to us. Again, it has some mistake because they are generalizing. It is against the effort of those experts. But look at the other choices. Why is B out? Only solution. Again, the error is extreme, right? I'm not saying it will always be incorrect, but do we have an evidence to back this? If I tell you that I teach logic, so can you conclude that I only teach logic? No, I could teach legal also, right? So because of this, this is out. Why is C out? Not given, not given. Bola hi nahi. Higher yield does not mean high profit. You could be producing more, but if you don't sell it, there is no high profit. D, farming techniques not given. Out, bola hi nahi. Government price out of debt, bola hi nahi. So bola hi nahi is the most common error. Yeah. So I hope you like the class. This was tough exercise. I would do one more exercise on conclusion question. The rationale is if you do the tough exercise, you can easily manage the simpler one. Go to our portal. There are lots of questions to practice, such questions to practice. So we'll have tough level of questions and then we'll have easy level of questions also for you to practice. Okay. Take care. See you in my next class. We at Mentors Capital have curated the best test series for you. We can confidently claim that our test series is best in the market. So go and see it for yourself. Remember, coaching kahin se bhi. Test series from Mentors Capital.